What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Studio Breeze, and I'm here with my guy.
Keith Mills, what's good, y'all?
And we are here to bring you episode 1 of the Duelist part of our Marvel Rivals Wishlist series. And he's going to be a high mobility brawler / bruiser type that excels at diving into the back lines, disrupting, and healing back towards the team. First off, Tosin's going to have 275 HP.
So, coming in with my guy, Bullseye, he's going to be much more of like a staller DPS. I'm going to start him with 375 health.
His primary attack is going to be 2 palm strikes and a double palm strike, all of them doing 40 damage each. Each hit charging up his Vibranium Resonance. Now his Vibranium Resonance is represented by 4 diamonds on the screen, much like Gambit's cards on the screen. Each of the 4 diamonds he has will be charged for a quarter diamond for each primary hit that he, actually hits. And the same for each time that he's hit, but we'll get to that later on.
And his primary weapon, which is called Jack of all trades, he has a deck of cards similar to Gambit that auto aim onto enemies akin to like Dagger, that does like a 3-round burst with 10 damage per burst. And his secondary weapon is an assault rifle with a grenade launcher attached to it that has 20 bullets with it, and the grenade shoots out at the end of the clip. The bullets do about 25 damage with an additional 10 damage when bullets ricochet off of enemies up to 3 times. If bullets miss, they can ricochet off of walls doing 15 damage with an additional 5 damage when they ricochet off of enemies as well. The grenade does an impact damage of 30 with a splash damage of 20 on enemies in a 5-meter distance. However, if you ricochet the grenade off the wall, the impact damage and splash damage is doubled. And for his melee, he does like a 3-hit combo doing 10 damage each hit that ends with a stab in both sides of the ribs with Electra size. A little homage to their rivalry. Should we put it in the comics? And that does 5 bleed damage. Hopefully, they'll incorporate that in some way, shape, or form at some point. Each second for 4 seconds.
Next, we have Vibranium Burst Kick, a dashing kick that costs 1 diamond and does 70 damage. If it's done in the air, it does a dive kick and has an AoE, much like Gambit's Staff Slam, and altogether it does 80 damage, but it'll cost 2 diamonds.
His first ability is called Pinpoint, which will highlight a weak spot on an enemy, and Bullseye can attack that, doing an additional 10 damage per hit for 8 seconds with a cooldown of 20 seconds.
He has Vibranium Uppercut. A close range uppercut does 50 damage. It costs 1 diamond.
For his next ability, I call Home Base, which allows him to sprint akin to Captain America, but he can still use his weapons the whole time he's sprinting.
Next, we have Vibranium Spear Slash, a Getsuga-Tensho-like move with the spear on his back. The slash costs 2 diamonds. And it does 70 damage, but it goes for 10 meters. And lastly, for his special moves, we have Spear Shield. He spins his spear in front of him, blocking all projectiles and 50% of melee damage, but that has a cooldown of 8 seconds, costing no diamonds.
And now, this third ability I feel may be a little controversial given who Bullseye is and how people usually associate him with. But it's called Dragon Fang, and that's the name of a sword that he gets after killing Heimdall, I believe, in the comics. This allows Bullseye. He can use the sword. Yeah, he killed him. Yeah, I didn't really do too much research upon that. I am interested in finding more about that. But yeah, he packed that nigga the fuck up. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. The comics is weird. Shout outs to Bullseye though. But the sword allows Bullseye to for 7 seconds. It allows him to destroy like any shield, and he does 35 damage with each hit, but they are very slow. Kind of like Magic when she's in her Dark Child form, but a little bit slower than that. But he can also create a shield barrier that absorbs up to 500 damage with a cooldown of 25 seconds.
For his passives, he can always do a double jump. The second jump will always have like a vibranium boost of energy that you'll see. If hit by enemies, it will fill his vibranium resonance. For each 100 damage that he takes, it'll fill up one of his diamonds completely.
And for his passive, with the more damage he does, it fills a meter that when full, activates a focus state where he gets a 5% damage boost for 5 seconds.
With Black Panther, each marked victim that Black Panther has, Tosin gets a free Vibranium Burst Claw Strike, which is a new move that can be done in the air and on the ground for a dive-like punch.
And with Daredevil's anchor, Bullseye is able to use his billy clubs in order to yank people over to him and use them as a human shield for 3 seconds. And at the end, he stabs you in the ribs with Electrocide, like I said before, which activates Bleed.
And lastly, we have his ult, Resonance Overload. He has a 2-second activation. Afterwards, he is now overloaded with Vibranium Resonance and has infinite diamonds, and +5 to all his attacks for 8 seconds. All attacks just have a 2-second cooldown. But with each kill he gains, he'll add 2 seconds to his ult. For activation, his allies will hear "For Wakanda," and for enemies, they'll hear "Be Gone, Outsiders."
And finally, his ultimate, which I call Delusions in Anger, activates a crazed state for which 10 seconds Bullseye throws random objects that hone in on enemies, doing 20 damage each hit. He does it pretty fast, so he can rack up a nice amount of damage. He also is allowed to pick up things like Penny's Mines and Namor's Squids or Moon Knight's Onks and attach sticky bombs to them, doing a whopping 80 damage when he throws them at enemies. But he can only do it twice, and then he has to wait 2 seconds between each throw. And if you're on his team, you might hear him say, "I never miss," or enemies may hear, "I got you in my sights."
For skins, as he is new, he doesn't have many outfits, just his open sleeveless cloak with vibranium tattoos exposed.
And for his costumes, I would like his ultimate Spider-Man costume, kind of like a comic accurate dirty but cut up Daredevil costume with a bullseye on the forehead. Yeah, it's my guy Bullseye.
Word.
Is he getting banned? Is he getting banned, bro? This time?
I think, he sounds less bannable than Mysterio, but he gonna get banned. Let's find out in the comments. Y'all think our characters are getting banned, or we do OP?
Let us know what DPS you would like. And I'm Keys.
And I'm Breeze.
The struggle arc continues.
Be breezy.